Hi, I'm Gary Boetticher and welcome back. Our next video for Unit 2 is going to look at UML types of diagrams. Now, as I mentioned in the previous videos for this unit, we've looked at the components of ER and EER types of diagrams. We looked at the Texas Department of Public Safety example of how to actually build an ER and EER model. And as mentioned in terms of ontological reasoning, we'll see a lot of expressibility also in the UML types of diagrams. So we'll now look at the different features of UML modeling. We're not going to look at everything. We'll focus primarily on class diagrams, and we'll go through the notes in terms of what's available and in terms of expressibility. So if you now open to notes, and we'll take a look at it. Thanks a lot. Okay, we're now going to look at components of a UML diagram. And within UML diagrams there's a series of different diagrams available, including class, use case, sequence, collaboration, state, activity, and implementation. For this class, we'll be focusing on class diagrams here. And the main tool that's used quite a lot for doing UML diagrams is rational rows. What you'll see for this class in terms of the homeworks and the notes, I actually use Microsoft Word to do my EER and UML types of diagrams. Okay? Now, the reason we only focus on class diagrams is because there's a lot of other types of diagrams that their features don't map to database modeling. So we saw in the previous video about ontological reasoning, and we'll get a little bit of sense that here. In this diagram, which I really can't shrink down, we see an order and we see a customer. So one customer might place multiple orders as indicated by the star. We might have a comment which is represented with curly braces. If order.customer.credit rating is poor, then the order.is prepaid must be true. Okay. We see over here in terms of types of customers, we have corporate customer and personal customer, which is a subclass. And the corporate customer might have an employee for the company, in this case a sales rep, 0 and 1, and they might have multiple customer corporate accounts. Finally, the order might have different line items, so one order might have multiple line items, and we would have one product per multiple line items. So that's a general overview of UML. Let's look at some of the capabilities of UML diagrams. And the first thing we'll look at is this box, which is the class symbol. And so it's really divided into three parts. We have the class name, in this case customer, the attributes in the middle portion, and the methods below. And we'll ignore the methods at this point. Okay, so if we look at the attributes, we have the name, such as the name domain, and we might do a structured attribute, structured domain, such as last name and first name, as a way of showing in ER diagrams composite attributes. Next, I'd like to talk about associations, and in the example here we see corporate customer, and as I said, 1 employee, 0, 1 employees participating. So why you might have 0 is, let's say an employee has a customer account and the employee goes away, maybe he takes another job, so they might not have a customer rep, or they just got the corporate customer account and we don't know who the sales rep is. Sales rep in this case refers to the role, and here we see cardinality values, stars like the many, and participation can be a lower range and upper range there. Typically, we have, in terms of talking about cardinality, we refer to that as multiplicity. That is how many instances participate. Okay, the next UML diagram shows the idea of a derived attribute. In this case, if we were doing order, we might have the total order, which is based on all the instances within a particular order. So there it occurs, the derived attribute occurs as a method within the class object. Now, scrolling down, we come to another example, and here we have a let's say an object class university employee, the role might be professor. He or she, one or more professors might have the association in terms of teaching, one or more students. Now over here we see student might be enrolled in one or more classes, and we see it's many to many, and notice we have an arrow showing it's one way in terms of the association. And we can also have a reflexive association where a course might have prerequisites, and so the course serves as a role of a prerequisite, and we'll assume that any course might have anywhere from 0 to 3 prerequisites. So that's another example of a UML diagram. Scrolling down, we have a little example here. Which would be a better design? Doing a class such as sports athlete plays for whatever team, and then having another class team and the team name, or to do sports athlete plays for as an association and some particular team. So would we want it as a derived attribute or as an association? So take a moment to think about which way you think would be the best, and we'll stop temporarily. Okay, your time is up, and so we will find that the best approach is the latter approach because it better represents and shows the relationship as to the athlete playing for which particular team.